sessions are wrapped up. The starting fives for both teams, as we're just about ready to get this one started. Hello, and thanks for joining us, folks, for this midweek NBA action on 2K Sports. With David Aldridge on our sideline, and here with me, Greg Anthony and Steve Smith, this is Kevin Harlan. And here's a look at some numbers for Leonard.
And, guys, how about the surge of offense he's experiencing right now? These last 5 games, he's been a machine at the offensive end. A different score than he had been earlier in the season. We'll find out if he can keep it going here tonight.
Here are the starters for Los Angeles. They've got Ivica Zubac. Paul George is out there with Patrick Beverley. Then there's Mo Harkless, and it's Leonard in at the small forward position. And for Atlanta, it's Reddish and Hunter teaming up at the forward spots. Young and Herter make up the backcourt, and it's Collins in at the 5 spot. Smitty, the increased pace of the game, how does that affect players, you think, trying to get through the season in terms of, say, fatigue?
You know, I think for the teams that those coaches understand, they do a great job of playing 10, 11, 12 guys throughout the season. It usually bodes well. It's those organizations that's going 6, 7, only 8 deep. You see those guys start to fatigue, and any injury, then you really see it shows up on paper and on the floor when you're not a deep team.
And that one is good.
Efficient in the painted area. Collins has a purpose behind his actions.
And it's Leonard. That time on the assist by George.
Talented, driven. He puts constant pressure on your defense.
Young against Beverly. Shots good from Young.
Even though he'll never be big, Trae Young plays bigger than many thought he would.
And Smitty, the city of Atlanta, as you know, has really embraced Trae Young.
Kevin, they call him Ice Trae. The franchise handed him the keys, and he's running with it.
Now, here's Beverly. 9 points last game. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Zubac. It's good, and he makes his first shot of the game.
And we always talk about making your teammate better. That assist was right on target.
Beverly against Young. There's 47 seconds left in the first. And again, it's Atlanta.
Trae Young's a crafty operator from mid-range, really from any range.
George with the bounce pass. Here's Leonard. Another one falls for the Clippers.
And I like to see this. They're calling his number early, and he's delivering.
It makes sense, right? You're trying to get off to a fast start, and he can help with that.
Hands it from downtown.
We saw that coming all the way. Trae Young just doing what he does best.
Pass to Leonard. Passes it to Harkless. And good that time.
Just setting the tone with an aggressive move to the rack. And where's the help defensively?
No excuse. You have to be aware. He should be on your radar all the time.
Here's Herter. That's in, coming off the assist from Young.
Such an incredible score. Young's playmaking may be on the same level.
And that does it for the first quarter. Bucks ahead, up 4. 2K Sports back in a moment here in Atlanta. Paul George had that nasty broken leg back in 2014. He describes what inspired him to come back even stronger.
My inspiration really came from my mother. You know, her dealing with stroke, her dealing with really being down and out. You know, I saw her fight back. That was enough for me. In my darkest days, I knew it was nothing to what my mom went through, and she came out perfectly fine, so.
Well, what a story. George worked hard to get back and is not disappointed in his return.
You know, recovering from a devastating injury is never easy, but George's perspective and commitment helped him to overcome it.
And for those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now. And when you consider how Atlanta is doing, your thoughts?
Well, they've been aggressive from the beginning, particularly on the offensive end.
And that has helped them build an advantage here, playing with good focus and good energy.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. And the Clippers, looking at who they've got, Shamet and Leonard are on the wing. Harrell is out there with Mo Harkless, and it's Williams at the point.
Another area where Young excels, using the dribble to create space for his shot.
And despite a fair amount of turnover, the Clippers have made the playoffs 7 out of the last 8 years.
I am so surprised. When you lose Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan, you expect a complete rebuild. But the team stayed competitive throughout, and now they're well positioned into the future.
The Clippers trail. The pass to Shamet. Harrell against Len. Out of bounds, Atlanta will take possession. And let's take this chance to check out the NBA steal leaders. The real stats, the real scores from the real NBA. The fourth spot held by Kawhi Leonard.
And he's been a rock for them defensively. Just so many steals for him this year, and so many of them have been in key moments for his team.
Now, here is Young. 9 points in the game so far. Williams kicks to Shamet. The tray hits the three-point bomb. Shamet's got the lead up to 2 now for the Clippers.
Though he has a score-first mindset, Williams not a bad setup man.
Carter with the bounce pass. Young from outside. It's in, and he's a very efficient 5 for 6 on the game.
Adding to this lead, he's been dependable and consistent at the offensive end.
Leonard against Carter. That's going to be out of bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession. And the Clippers making a switch here. There's 14 seconds left in the first half. Clock at 6. They get a hand on it. From deep, George sinks the three-pointer. George has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
And there's never been any question about George's three-point range. He just goes through stretches where he knocks down the three at a ridiculous rate.
And some good action through the first 2 quarters as we reach halftime. Clippers lead by 2. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. Kawhi, you have grown so much offensively throughout your career. What's the focus of that end of the floor?
Just knocking down open shots, my ball handling, making good decisions off the pick and roll, and just try to limit my turnovers.
And you've done well so far, Kawhi. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you, and stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter started.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back to 2K Sports, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Let's talk about that first half. A pretty close game for the Clippers throughout the first quarter. They only had a couple rough stretches, and as the first period came to a close, they had a 4-point deficit. They were a little more aggressive in the second quarter, and it paid off. They went from trailing to now holding a 2-point halftime lead. And taking a look at the Clippers, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, it's always a little bit of a challenge playing on the road, but they came in mentally prepared and physically prepared. The energy in the arena was fierce, but they didn't cave in.
And Shaq, what'd you see from Atlanta?
Well, they spent a lot of time away from the basket offensively. They need to get in the paint, Ernie. Whether it's running the offense through the low post or on dribble drives, pick and rolls, get into the paint.
And that's a wrap for our halftime show. The third quarter just about to get started.
Second half of basketball upon us. We may be in for an exciting finish based on how close of a game that's been so far. It's been one outstanding game from Trae Young.
Man, he's been running wild on him through that first half. Absolute dynamite on offense.
This is his challenge, to continue to dominate, to help them try to close strong here in the second half.
And in that first half, we saw a pretty tight battle. We'll soon find out what sort of adjustments were discussed during the half. On the wings, Herter and Reddish. Hunter is out there with John Collins. And it's Young in at the point guard position. That's the group starting the second half for Lloyd Pierce. Now here's Harkless. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. So, Steve, the league has done a pretty good job of curbing player altercations. Some guys, always though, it seems, are going to be ready to go toe-to-toe and will not back down.
Patrick Beverly, Kevin, Draymond Green, James Johnson, those guys come to mind. They are ready to go from the tip. They are ready to go.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Kevin, when Trae Young was in college, he was known for his long-range shooting. But Young says, the people who know me best know that I'd rather get an assist than any other stat. I pride myself on making the right play. Knowing your teammates get joy and excitement from playing with you is all I care about. Kevin?
That's great to see. Thank you, D.A.
What a shot over the bigger defender. That could prove to be a massive bucket.
That's coming up big in the clutch. Rising up and burying it.
Leonard, the pass to Beverly. Right side, George. Over Reddish. That's good for George on the assist by Beverly. George has got the lead back up to 7 now for Los Angeles. Young passes to Collins. Kicks it to Young. Lets the three fly. It falls for the 6th time in 7 tries this contest. That's 86%.
What do you expect? Young is a threat to score the moment he crosses half court.
5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. George with the bucket.
Crushing blow to the host right there. I mean, they were in this game for what felt like only a second before instantly giving that three-pointer up.
Now, here is Young. He's got 15. From the arc. Oh, my goodness, with no time left on the clock.
Without a moment to spare, he guts this one out.
Coaches always talk about closing quarter strong. Can't do it much better than that.
The third quarter comes to a close. The Clippers on top, up 4. And we're coming back in just a moment. Get ready for the fourth quarter of action when we return. And how about a look now at our assist of the game? Brought to you by State Farm.
And, you know, you can always count on him for at least a couple of these pretty assists over the course of a game. And this one, a thing of beauty.
You see why they trust him with the ball in his hands. He can make the simple play, and he can pull off the spectacular.
Well, this has been a great contest so far, and I imagine the fourth quarter could have even more action in store for us. And on the floor for the Clippers here in the fourth, Williams and Shamet are the guard set. Harrell is out there with Mo Harkless, and it's man in at the 3 spot. Shamet, and again, it's the Clippers from deep.
And coming down the stretch here, both teams still on fire.
Yes, and if you love all, you're loving this matchup. It's been a highlight reel affair.
Shots good by Turner. So it's the Clippers now, leading by 5. Outside Williams. And it's Williams finishing it off.
Hey, dunks aren't always for the big fellas.
A serious power move from the point.
Forget just laying it in. He wanted to make a statement.
Bucket is good.
Never one to shy away. Collins delivers as much contact as he receives.
And looks like the illegal pick was set. Yep, that's right. That'll get their attention.
Beyond the leaning, you could see his feet weren't set on that screen. Easy call.
So difficult to stay planted, especially with all the motion around you. Annoying turnover.
Now here's Teague. Collins in the post, defended by Harkless. Shot is good, and the Los Angeles leads cut down to just 3 on the basket from Collins. LA's gone 6 of 7 from long range tonight. They've been on fire from way outside. Here's Williams. It counts.
As the game tightens, I like Lou Williams' mentality. Never gets too high or too low.
Time called here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 5. There's 53 seconds left in the fourth. Now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Lou Williams.
And his percentage from the field tonight seems almost made up. I didn't think it was possible to have that kind of success shooting the basketball. You need a little bit of luck, a bunch of hard work, and a whole lot of talent.
Hunter's checked in for the Hawks. Reddish comes in for Turner. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Thank you, guys. I got a chance to listen in on what Lloyd Pierce was saying to the team. He told them to stick with it. He said, this game is right here, guys. This is our game to take. Precision, purpose, and poise. Kevin, we'll see if they can get it done.
These are the moments that Jeff Teague lives for. He loves close games.
And the Clippers call time here. They're in front by 4. 29 seconds left in the fourth quarter.